yeah, it was cool to see Squad Zero finally get into the fight.
Yeah.
And then I guess, they brought out some even more powerful Quincy's, like all of a sudden to kind of fight them. So they kind of got their, it kind of went back and forth. They kind of got their butts handed to them. And, and then they handed, butts to the other guys. And just
butts back and forth.
Butts. Yeah, right. Just booty. Everywhere.
This is Geek Off The Street, your go-to channel for all things from obscure geekdom to modern-day pop culture and everything else in between.
What's up, everybody?
We're back.
Yes, we are.
Here we go. Here we go.
Is any surprise, though?
They're not surprised.
No,
they were holding their breath waiting for it.
Yeah, because we're always back every Wednesday.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Clockwork.
Yeah,
clockwork.
My name's Trent.
And my name is Marc.
And this is
Geek Off The Street.
Greatest podcast of all time. Talk about geek culture, pop culture, and whatever else we want.
Deal with
it.
Deal with it. Think I'm playing with you right now? I don't want to hit it too right now.
Yeah.
The mics.
But yeah, this week's no exception because we're talking about Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War Part 2.
Yes.
The anime, so obviously, you guys don't know, not the cleaning supply, but the anime.
We can talk about that too if you want. I don't know. You
I
weirdos.
guess the uses of it and whatever. Yeah,
right.
That's what we're talking about today.
Yes, it just recently ended, September 30th or something.
Yeah, so like last night for us.
Yeah.
Or yesterday morning for us.
Yeah.
Here on the West Coast.
Right. So,
so we're gonna get into that. I think it was 12 episodes, 13 episodes. No, 13 episodes.
I think it might have. It was 12. Yeah, I think it was 12.
Was that
just because it was like they were just counting. They were still adding to it. So it was like episode 24 or something.
And then
like that,
I was kind of shocked there was like a 2-part. That last part. They released the 2 at the same time. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was cool. And it's still not over. And it's clearly not over.
Clearly still not over. Got a lot more to unravel. But we're gonna unravel what's shown to us now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So far.
Yeah. But before we do that,
yes.
How are we doing? And what are we drinking this week?
I am doing well. What did I do this week? Well, I'm about to go off a little bit on what was done. Let's get into
what we're drinking first. Okay.
Yes.
So this is called the Ichigo Kurosake.
Hey.
Right?
Kurosake.
Get it? Because his last name is Kurosaki. So it's got a little bit of it's got a little bit of a sake in it, obviously,
definitely.
in the namesake. A yuzu liqueur, and a little bit of strawberry syrup.
Right.
Yeah.
Really simple.
Shake it
really
up,
simple.
pour it into a glass, and boom.
And there you go.
I just have this strawberry flavored
It's
sake.
very refreshing.
Yeah,
very fruity and refreshing.
This.
Like you can't even taste the alcohol in this.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, every once in a while. I think every 5th or 6th drink I make is one that I put on a list of like, I'll we make that someday,
Tell them where you got this drink from.
What do you mean?
Your brain.
Oh, you mean like where I got the ingredients?
I'm trying to help me. Trying to help me help you.
I just told you the ingredients, man. Like, what do you mean?
No, not the ingredients. The drink.
No.
All right, hang on. Take 2. We'll edit this out. All right. Nobody's listening. Nobody's looking. And take 2. So Trent, tell everybody where you got this drink from.
I made it up.
What?
From the thing between my ears, my brain.
Gray matter.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, I just decided, I thought, get a little bit of sweet, tart, and alcohol content, throw it together, and hopefully it would taste good.
Yeah.
And
Nailed
it worked out.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it worked out. So I'm pretty happy about
It
that.
is very good. Very refreshing. Very fruity, light flavor to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say something else. I'm not going to, but yeah.
since we're already through our first glass, good thing I made a second. Step up on the pour. So yeah. But yeah.
You're in the zone right now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just all cylinders today. All cylinders. But yeah, this week I didn't do much. I think I went to LA.
Yeah.
To get a bowl of ramen.
Nice.
Just any bowl of ramen. My hero, his name is Keizo Shimomoto. He's a ramen chef.
Yeah.
And he opened a pretty crazy ramen shop out here, but closed it a year later because he had some health issues.
Oh.
But he teamed up with a shop called Tonchin in LA, famous shop from Japan, and came over to New York eventually. And they just opened a shop here in LA.
Nice.
Probably 6 months ago.
Okay.
And so they teamed up and they made a bowl just for a month. Or a couple months that he would design, and they sold it for just until the end of September.
Wow!
So I finally went out there last week, Tried it. It was awesome.
Nice.
Shout out to Alex. He was there with me. He was on
DTF.
the DTF Alex. Yep. He was on our Black Panther episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went there with me. We're both ramen dudes, so tore it up and it was
Very
fantastic.
Cool. Nice.
What
was different about it?
So it is. So it's called I'm gonna get this wrong, but I think it's a gyukokan skimming. So it's like a dipping ramen, but the broth is really thick. It's like really, really condensed, thick broth.
Interesting.
And the noodles are really thick as well. So you just take it, you dip it in, and it's really thick, but it's really flavorful. It's like tonkotsu, but there's like you can hear kind of a fish flavor in it too.
Yeah.
And all the other toppings are in there too. And then after they'll bring broth out like kombu and then pour it in there so you can drink it.
Okay, kind of soften up a little bit.
Yeah, soften up because it's so thick.
Yeah.
But so it's a specific style from like a specific area of Japan. But it's really popular out there.
Interesting.
And it was good. It was very good.
Cool.
It was
Very
kind of a bomb to the stomach. So I wouldn't be able to have it a lot, very often.
Right, kind of rich or something,
Yeah, very rich, but very good though. So that was awesome. Worth it. But
cool.
Other than that, man, I didn't do anything else.
Okay,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, this weekend I worked a lot, but I also went to Knott's Berry Farm yesterday, Saturday. We kind of did it in celebration of Lariah's birthday, the goddaughter. So it was cool. Went out there. Lila, the youngest one, she's 3.
The very well-spoken 3-year-old.
The very well-spoken 3-year-old. Yeah. This is her first time going to an amusement park, so it was very cool. Yeah. Definitely like the sensory overload, and we had to teach her about lines. Like we were in line, like let's get on the ride. I want to get on. Let's get on right now. So it was fun. So she's still a kid,
right?
She's still a kid.
Yeah, still a kid.
So I'm explaining it to her. All these people, we gotta wait, and I'm trying to entertain her while we're in line.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But anyways, as the day went on, I was walking around. I still had baby there with me and everything, and I heard like this voice, like calling to me, right? And I'm like, is this like an angel? Is this some sort of sign? Like, what is happening right now? I turned around.
I changed my ways.
It wasn't me. Whatever you think I did, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I turned around and I saw Batical Radness.
Batical Radness?
Yes, at Knott's Berry Farm. Yes, he was there. He had his crew with him. He had his people.
Yeah.
It was very cool. And he saw me. I was like, what? So yeah, it was very cool. So
awesome.
We started walking around and kind of hung out a little bit. Everybody else that I was with, like, I'll let you guys go, catch up with you later.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of hanging out and talking. It was good stuff. Still talking about collaborating, obviously.
Yeah.
Open invitation with that, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
But his cousin is into LARP.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she's like really, I don't know. She's not in charge of it, but she's kind of high up there with it, and it's like a very big one that's out here in on the West Coast or whatever.
Yeah.
So they do. They have the events every once in a while, and obviously, I said, I want to. Yeah, whenever that goes down next or whatever, let me know. Let me know what I need to do. And she started like explaining it to me how it works. Blah blah blah. So hopefully sometime soon you will hear about going on a LARP or a LARPing adventure.
Did you tell her that you have a co-host that also would like to be a part of LARPing?
I mentioned you, but you were not invited.
Oh, got it.
Kidding,
okay,
I'm
all right.
No, that would be cool. That would be 100% cool if we could do that. And then I think everybody knows what LARPing is, but if you don't know, it's live action role playing. And she was kind of explaining it to me how it works as far as like like magic and blah 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 and all this other stuff is concerned, and how elaborate it gets. Like it goes on for like days.
Oh,
like
really?
Like literally for days. Like people will be playing for like 72 hours straight. The game will be going for that long, and where they do it, they build like cities, forts. I'm imagining something along the lines of maybe like a paintball type of situation where they have like forts and huts and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it sounds very elaborate, but it also that's one of those things like. It was on like the bucket list of something to check out and do. So
I've always wanted to try it too.
Yeah. So I think one's going to be coming up, I think, in November. So I'll once I get the details, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
We can do a show from there
That'd
or
be
something.
awesome.
I don't know. We'll
something.
get it figured out, but we'll keep you in the
yeah.
loop. But yeah, very looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. So thank you guys.
Yeah.
Batical.
Batical, you're the man.
Right.
Check out Batical Radness. He is the man.
Right.
Yeah,
content creator. He's out there.
Streamer, all that stuff. He's great. He's one of our episodes. God, he's one of the coolest guys I've ever met.
Big time.
Yeah.
100%.
So. And I've met me before, so.
So that's saying a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, the modesty. The modesty.
But yeah. Anyway,
yeah, but that's about it though, man.
Yeah.
Any shout outs to shout?
Oh, yeah. I think we have a couple of followers. We can get a lot of followers from like people that I'm pretty sure are fake, but
I think that's how you know if you're being targeted. I feel like that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think so.
Random, like the bots are after you.
There are a lot of people that have been like adding us, hey, we'll edit you, guys' videos for you, and that just happens a lot. I'm not sure those are like real people or what.
They just want to get with.
Yeah, I'm gonna be part of this,
right?
But yeah.
Get it.
Oh, but a huge thank you though. We just hit our 200th subscriber on YouTube. It's been a long journey, man, to get to that point because we started at like 66 subscribers for the first almost 2 years.
Yeah, and just kind of went back and forth. And yeah.
And we finally hit the 200 subscribers, so we're finally going in the right direction. So thank you, everybody who subscribes.
Appreciate you.
Checks our content out. Our views are going up. Everything's going up, and it's really exciting to watch.
Right.
Going kind of slow, but still, it's moving in the right direction. So thank you guys so much for checking us out. It means everything to us.
Yes.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
I'm finally starting to believe in this. But yeah, big shout out to let's see, people who have followed us. Man, I
think we missed the shout outs.
We did miss them last week, yeah.
Not intentional,
but yeah,
we love you all.
Ryan G415, thank you for following us. Hey Omizi, River Action Remix, I think he's a musician, and I'm pretty sure this last guy is, I don't know, who is this guy? Anyway, thanks for following us.
Hey, I love that guy.
Yeah, Daoud Hamza 09. Thank you for following us.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks everyone for checking us out. Again, appreciate it. And if you guys check out all of our episodes, they come out every Wednesday audio on.
Every Wednesday.
Yeah, every Wednesday for audio. Sorry, on Spotify,
for audio.
all the streaming sites, and then YouTube on Friday for the video portion of it. We're everywhere. We're at Gotspot. The Gotspot on every social media platform you can think of, except for Facebook. We're Geek Off The Street, and YouTube also Geek Off The Street.
There you go.
But yeah, I'm sure if you type in Gotspot, we pop up on any of those ones too.
You'll find it.
Yeah, so check us out. Leave a comment. Leave a subscribe. Ask us a question.
Yep. Listen to the audio and watch the video.
Yeah, they're both.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Do both.
Yeah, they're both a little different. So.
And then watch the audio and listen to the video.
Yeah.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Watch it at the same time.
Yeah.
Or watch half of this, half of that, and then come back to it.
You've got multiple
so
devices.
many options.
Turn them on.
Yeah, and we have reels coming out every single day.
Bam.
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
How
You guys are in
awesome
a great
right
world
now.
that you guys live in right now.
Yeah, this is a great time to be alive.
Yeah, exactly. But I do have something I got to ask MC Podcast. Our buddies in Australia.
Yeah, MC Podcast.
Love these guys. I need you guys to clear this up for me, okay? I listened to 2 podcasts this week. I won't name them, but they both had to talk about Australia for some reason. Both American podcasts. And they were adamant about telling everybody that it's not pronounced Melbourne, it's pronounced Melbourne. Melbourne.
Oh, like there's no R.
Yeah, there's no R in it. And so they say throughout the whole podcast, they say Melbourne the whole time, but they're clearly Americans.
Yeah.
And we have R's here. You know what I mean? So, or we pronounce our R's here.
I'm pretty sure they got R's out there too. But yeah.
Right. But so here's my question to you guys. Is it pronounced Melbourne because your accent, the dialect has a softer R on words with R's on it?
Just like England and T's.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or is it that's how it should be said by everybody?
Yeah.
Melbourne. Because if I were to say, for example, if I were to be like, my flight is tomorrow at 6 in the morning,
right? And
I'm taking my girlfriend. Would you guys be like, actually, it's pronounced morning, and girlfriend? Yeah, like or because like I don't know why it bothered me, but it kind of bothered me for like Americans to be like, this is how it's said, so I'm gonna say it, and you guys gotta say it the right way for now.
I hear you.
And then it just sounded weird when they'd be like, oh, and then there was this giraffe in Melbourne, and I was like, okay, well, you guys are saying words differently for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So MC Podcast. How do you pronounce Melbourne around the whole world? Is it because of the dialect, or is it because that's how it's supposed to be said by everybody?
Is that something in just how it's said? I see what you're saying.
So,
I mean, I'm assuming the word's not, for example, like is it French or something?
Yeah,
you know, and maybe
where the R is just silent. Oh, is the R silent? That's what I mean. Is the R silent, or not.
Right.
I mean to
that's
say.
Good. That's perfect. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
that's what I mean to say. So MC Podcast, our brothers out in Australia.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know
what that is. I don't know why I'm so bothered by it, but it was just annoying me. 2 separate podcasts in the same week.
That's interesting.
We're doing that, and it was about 2 different topics too. So
how are you listening to something where Melbourne, I said it, has come up?
Yeah. Well, it was actually 2 separate like UFO type podcasts, but 2 separate things though they're talking about.
Yeah.
And they both were like, oh yeah, we went to Melbourne over the summer, and they told us it's not pronounced Melbourne, it's pronounced Melbourne. So we're gonna start saying it right from now on. And 2 people said that in 2 different podcasts, unrelated. So I was like,
that's
okay,
really weird.
I was like, you guys don't tell me how to say it.
Yeah,
I pronounce my R's.
Yeah, we're gonna go to MC Podcast.
Yeah,
we're
MC
gonna go to
Podcast will clear it up for us because they are Australian and they probably know, or they don't.
Either way,
who knows? But yeah,
let us know, guys.
Yeah,
tell us something.
Yeah, tell us. We just like when you guys respond to us. It's fun. Yeah. So anyway, that's gonna be that. But
yes,
let's get into Bleach, huh?
Let's get into.
But first, let us top up our drinks because I made another round.
Perfection.
Because I am the best guy on the web. I don't know.
Yeah, here.
I'm all right.
You're all right. Yeah,
I'm all right. Cool. All right.
So humble. So humble.
So anyway, we're gonna get into Bleach.
Little muss. Bam. Everybody, listen to this drink.
That's delicious.
It is.
So we're gonna get into the show. So this is again what we said is part 2 of the Bleach 1,000-year Blood War. So if you guys have no idea about Bleach at all, Bleach started back in I already forgot now. 2000. The original Bleach.
Yeah.
In the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the manga come out in like 99 or?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So early, I think 2001 actually. I think we talked about this already.
That's when.
Yeah. So it came out.
As a matter of fact, I think our episode 99 is the Bleach episode. So.
Yeah. There you go.
Check that out.
So we talk about the first part. But yeah, so the original Bleach series came out, very popular, but it had some production issues. The original creator got sick. He wasn't able to keep up with the demand. And it kind of fizzled out. It ended up getting canceled.
Yeah,
and
a lot of episodes, a lot of seasons.
Yeah. But then, and then it kind of wasn't really that. It kind of tapered off. Wasn't really good towards the end.
Yeah.
Then it got canceled. And then even though the creator finished the manga, he wasn't happy about how he finished the manga because he was sick. So he couldn't put out the best work he could with the last arc, the Blood War. And also they didn't even make it for them because it got canceled. So those 2 things happened. And then they decided to bring it back. And so this is the creator's kind of chance to tell the story he wants to tell in anime form.
Yeah.
And that's what this is. It's the final basically story arc of Bleach.
Right.
And if those of you guys don't know who Ichigo Kurosaki is, it's he's a Soul Reaper, and he basically hunts evil souls.
Yeah, or the Hollows or whatever.
Basically the unfinished business ghosts, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, right?
Yeah, they're in Japanese they're called Shinigami.
Yeah,
I believe, which
Yep.
is essentially a Soul Reaper.
Yeah.
And you've probably seen that or heard that term or expression all over the place. I think they in Death Note you hear it, and you hear it kind of throughout. But that's what a Shinigami is essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
A Soul Reaper.
Yeah, the show isn't necessarily about that much anymore. Actually, it's more about this war.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's moved on from that quite a bit.
Yeah. Between the Quincy's, who are this human group that hunts hollows but eradicates them. Yeah. Versus the Soul Reapers who kind of save them basically.
Okay.
Yeah. If
when they finish them off, they
they return back to their original form instead of
not the monster
afterlife.
Form. Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And so there's a big difference, and there's a reason why they do that. Now that we know, is that the hollows actually suck the energy out of the Quincy's.
Yeah. We kind of find that out in the later episodes of the season. Like the Quincy's have I don't know if I want to use the word fear, but they kind of imply that there's a kind of essentially there's like a survival aspect, a fear aspect, because these things more or less kind of prey on them. It sounds like so. Obviously the Quincy's want to get rid of them.
And then there's I guess there's some sort of was there kind of like chemical compound in the hollows that affected them or something?
Something about that is like essentially toxic.
Yeah,
poison
toxic to the Quincy's.
Quincy's.
They don't want to save them. They want to
let's get rid of them. Which I get it.
Yeah, and so basically the Quincy's and the Soul Reapers came to a head, and then the Soul Reapers basically destroyed all the Quincy's, or so we thought.
Yeah.
And so now
I don't know if they were trying to exterminate them, but They essentially drove them into extinction.
Yeah.
Except for the ones that kind of got away and hid.
Right. There's the ones that are still around. They came back, and then now they're waging this war on the Soul Reapers to get revenge. It's baby. Or we don't really know.
Yeah.
The whole plan. Or
they want to kind of run the world their way. The human world, the living world, the afterworld or afterlife.
Yeah.
And then I guess whatever the Hueco Mundo, whatever.
Oh yeah.
There's like these 3 different kinds of of worlds.
Yeah.
The living world and spirit world, blah blah blah.
And they want to run all of them.
Yeah, their way. Yeah, the Soul Reaper's been running it their way. It's almost like the Jedi and the Sith, almost in a sense. I don't want to call the Quincy's Sith necessarily.
Yeah, but the Quincy's are wreaking havoc though. They are.
Yeah, they are
destroying the Soul Reapers.
They've had a lot of pent up frustration for a very long time.
Yeah, and they're not holding back. But yeah, so we talked about part 1 a couple some months ago.
Right.
In episode 99, like you were saying, and then now we're talking about part 2.
Yes.
Yeah, and there will be 2 more parts, I think.
Yeah.
What it looks like. I think
they have announced. They've already announced. Obviously, season 3 is coming out. It's going to be in. It's definitely going to be in 2024. I'm trying to think when they said though. I don't know if they said October.
Spring, right? Or
that makes more
fall?
sense.
Yeah, I think they're saying spring to fall, and then they're saying the 4th one will come out sometime in 2025.
Wow.
But so
okay.
quite a bit more story to tell.
Yeah,
it seems like. Yeah,
which is pretty interesting.
But we're gonna get into this one, part 2.
Right.
So basically, it picks up where Ichigo. So the first part ended with them meeting up with Squad 0, who is the squad that's like not. Who runs?
Yeah, they're kind of off the books. We know about the 13 squads.
Yeah, and then who are the main ones in the Soul Society? But Squad 0 is like this ultra squad.
Yeah, they're almost like the creators of everything that the other squads use. It came from these guys. It's almost like you get, you go to the majors, so to speak. If you do something incredible like that, creating something crazy,
you go to the squad. Yeah. So like the creator of the Zanpakuto, the swords that they all use, is one of the guys from Squad 0.
Yeah,
which is pretty crazy to think about. Yeah,
exactly. I know, right?
Yeah, but kind of cool though that there's a reason for these guys being there.
Yeah,
and what they contributed to the Soul Society.
Right.
Yeah, and basically Ichigo, Renji.
And then Rukia at some point too,
and then her brother.
Or her brother, yeah.
Half is his brother's name.
I can't think of his name, but man, I love that scene where the guy heals him.
Just throws him in the hot spring, because he's like the most like stalwart, serious guy. Like,
take him seriously. And when you watch the anime, you take him seriously and you respect him.
Yeah, he's super strong. He's one of the captains.
Serious,
He's very serious, very like respectable.
Right, and he is knocking on. He is ready to die.
Yeah, because they steal his Bankai, which is his 3rd form sword. The Quincy's steal it from him. They can steal their superpower, and they mess him up. And so they had to heal him. And
he's going. And he just grabs him and just
throws him
throws
him
like a rag doll.
Yeah.
He's literally like just tumbling through the air.
And apparently, you find out he was in there for a while healing. Because he was like about to die.
Yeah.
But everybody comes back, or sort of. You don't see Ichigo much at all in this series episodes. You don't see him until like episode like 6 or 7.
Yeah, and he's walking.
Yeah.
You know?
Or you see him once in episode 1 because he's trying to figure out this sword because his Bankai's broken. So he's trying to figure out how to go to the next level, and they're going to teach him.
Yeah.
And they don't ever show us that, but he shows up like 6 episodes later with his restored Bankai, and he does some damage.
Yeah.
But the people that came back from Squad 0 were all pretty powerful. They learned some new stuff and did some damage as well to fight back the Quincy's. So this was kind of like this run was kind of like. I don't know. I felt like the Soul Reaper is kind of coming back.
Right.
Like,
definitely.
Sort of. Like putting
the start of coming back.
Yeah, start of coming back. They finally put up a fight because that first part they got wiped out.
Yeah,
a bunch of them got wiped out. And so the second part, a lot of them got wiped out again here too. But they're putting a fight back basically. They're fighting back in this one. And that's essentially what it's about. And then Yuak, the leader of the Quincy's makes it up almost to the palace, basically.
Right, yeah.
The Soul
King
to
find the Soul King.
Whoever that is. We don't know anything about the Soul King or what he does or who he is or what his function is, but apparently it's important.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get to him, and Squad 0 is protecting him, and that's basically where we leave off at.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to get to the Soul King Ichigo is going to be there. You know what I mean? Or something crazy. I'm trying to think, like, because I know Ichigo's got to be the hero of the show once everything's said and done.
Yeah.
So maybe the palace is empty and they've been protecting a lie kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe. I'm just making up stuff.
Yeah.
But the manga's out there. I have not read the manga.
Yeah.
Not going to.
I'm
I don't want to spoil it necessarily either. So.
Same. So that's basically where it ends. They put up a good fight. The Quincy's get beat back a little bit.
Right.
And it looks like Yuaki gets beat by the paintbrush guy.
Yeah.
but obviously he probably isn't dead, I don't think.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But pretty crazy stuff happens in this series. And we're gonna get into that. What do we like about it so far?
What do we like? Well, I mean, this is an obvious. If you have not seen it, the animation, it is fantastic. Yeah. It's not the original series' fault, but it's 10 times better than the original series.
Complete upgrade.
Yeah. I mean, actually, it's a lot better than a lot of things, a lot of anime that are out there. They've got the budget, they've got the resources to do it, and in some of the episodes, they're like really just showing off what they can do.
Yeah,
especially when they get to, when they're in that, Squad Zero's area and they're trying to make the break for the Soul King and the surroundings, like it looks like it starts turning into tapestry because of an illusion.
Oh yeah.
And it looks great. It looks fantastic. So the animation is next level. So if you want to see something like that, you want to appreciate something like that, it's great for that reason.
For the fight sequences, the all the magic and whatever the abilities, it all looks great in this animation style.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's like the perfect blend of like modern and still like hand drawn sort of. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know what it is, but it just looks really like a cool blend of like basically that.
Yeah, I mean, the characters still look like the characters from the original series, but like you said, it just I don't want to say it's cleaned up because it was good before, but it's cleaned up. It looks so much sharper,
sharp
better.
And crisp. That's how I describe it too. Yeah, very.
So anyone that's into just watching, good fight scenes, animation, the attacks and the abilities, then you'll definitely
like that. If you watch anime for the art, this is a good one to do.
Exactly.
That. I liked I liked that I do like Squad Zero. I like that we're finally seeing what they can do.
Yeah, we're finally seeing them fight, right.
I still always wonder like why have they not been a part of anything since now?
Yeah, me too.
And but it is cool to see why they are who they are and see each of their abilities. That was kind of a cool thing to get into. I also like, they're not holding anything back, man. Like they killed a lot of people.
Right.
In the series, they killed Captain Higurashi, the young one with the ice.
Yeah,
they killed him off. They killed off Rangiku.
Yeah,
killed off a lot of famous like popular characters in the show. And then they got killed off and then turned into zombies. Like,
right.
Pretty brutal way to go out for some of these very respected characters. A lot of them, getting killed off. So there's consequences to what's been going on. And even if these people, I don't know how many of them have contributed to the extermination of the Quincy's. I'm sure some of them have. Some of them were there.
Yeah, maybe because they are old. I mean, they have been around for a long time. These people,
they're hundreds of years old. These characters. So. So that's a cool thing they're doing. Like no one's safe, is what it seems like. Except maybe probably, Ichigo's friends are probably safe.
Right.
Or most of them
but though, I think Captain Hitsugaya, I think is the ice captain.
Hitsugaya, yeah, sorry.
Hitsugaya, that's all good. I feel like they're gonna bring those guys back because they said that that one quirky scientist, the research guy, that guy's awesome. He's very weird.
Oh yeah,
he's very weird. I don't trust him at all.
I never trust. And he literally only cares about research.
Right. Yeah, but he comes through in a pinch. So he's clearly just if you look at him, it's very hard to trust him. Like, oh, he's up to something.
Yeah,
but he's on their side. But he mentions that they were turned into zombies before they died. So I'm gonna guess is that he is going to heal them some kind of way and bring them back,
right?
Because I can't imagine that they're gonna pull the trigger on him. Yeah, he's one of their most popular characters.
Yeah.
For a while, like he was the most popular character. Whenever they do those polls, they always do those in manga, which I love. Like who's the most popular character, and that guy has been number one a couple times.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine that they're going to cut him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Cause for them to do that, it's like, well, we know he's your favorite, so he's gone.
Yeah. But then again, the show is, it's going to end. So why not? Do that,
Yes, we don't even know what, I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen to Ichigo or Chad or any of the other people.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe they'll go down fighting.
Who knows? Yeah. So, but so far it seems like they're taking a real consequential take on this story. People, no one's safe. People are gonna die, and that's what happens.
And people have died. I mean, even in that first season, the head captain got taken out. And that guy was stupid powerful.
That was the amount of power he had was crazy.
That guy was nuts. Like, why are you not up there in the zero?
Okay, in squad zero. Yeah.
But that was cool though. Let's see. Is there anything else? I'm trying to think what else I liked about it. One thing that I did like, and at first I was like, oh, here we go again. But one thing I did like was one of the main characters in there, and she's one of the main characters like right out of the gate is Rukia.
Oh yeah.
Right now, and she's a girl. I don't know. I wouldn't say she was Ichigo's love interest kind of thing, but she's a girl, whatever. Mm-hmm. And there have been multiple times where she's been in trouble, and then someone comes and saves her or whatever. I mean, there was a very cool arc where she's going to get executed, like towards the beginning. That was a very cool.
Oh, that's what that was the most popular one.
That was great. And that's different. You know what I mean? There was a story behind that. It wasn't just she was in a fight, she's getting overpowered, she's getting ready to lose. Yeah. And there's always that thing in anime, especially shonen, where, and shonen, for anyone that doesn't know, is a type of manga style that's geared towards young boys, essentially, or young guys.
Basically,
so it just kind of gives them what they want. So there's always like the girl that's in trouble that screams for help. Sakura has done it in Naruto like too many times.
Right.
You know what I mean? She screams for Naruto or whatever. Like, shut up. You know what?
You're a ninja too.
Yeah. Hey, go do something. Go do something. All the times Naruto has,
had to bail her out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You just want him to save you. That guy was trying to, give you the time of day. We're not talking about Naruto right now, everybody. Focus. But I'm glad that she had a moment where it looked like it was going to turn into her being saved again because she's getting overpowered by this fear creature. And then her brother shows up. And I was like, man, here. I was thinking like, man, they're doing this again, right? Girl in trouble, blah, blah, blah. But he kind of talks her through it and steps back and says, are you afraid? And he lets her do it. And she fights him and wins. Yeah. And I was like, well, I did not see that coming.
Right, yeah.
I did not see that coming.
That was kind of cool. Like, awakening moment for her. Because it's the first time you see her Bankai too.
Yeah.
Which is deadly for her and the people she fights.
Yeah, clearly, right? Yeah, deadly, he was telling her, like, you need to take it easy with this.
You can't do this that long.
Yeah, he's walking her through the Bankai, like, release it slowly, take it easy. You're about to kill yourself here.
Right, yeah. And that is a great overall arc for Rukia because even in the beginning, she's not the best Soul Reaper. Like she even says that, like, I wasn't the top of my class. I'm not that powerful. I was good at doing the magic part, the magic spells and stuff, but she's okay at that. But she wasn't like a great Soul Reaper. Like she was an average Soul Reaper. And so for her to finally get her due, was pretty cool.
Right.
Pretty cool to see that full circle. I also like that they didn't like show the training. Like I loved that it showed Ichigo in episode 1.
Yeah.
Put the sword up and with that guy with the beard. I forgot the paintbrush guy. He was awesome. But he was like, "Are you ready?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And then 6 episodes later, he shows up.
Okay,
right. I like that they didn't go through the whole training process of each one of how they got stronger. I don't know. It's always long and drawn out to me.
Right. Exactly.
And they did a lot in the first couple. Like every time Ichigo had a power up, they showed the entire training process for him to get to that next level.
Right.
And that's a long time, man. Sometimes like 25 episodes.
Right. And there's always not always. I mean, there's always a physical aspect to it, but there was always a kind of a metaphysical you're going in, you're searching inward, you're having this inward battle with yourself, with your sword,
to unlock this, whatever to get to this level. I like that they skipped that.
Right on.
They show, because it was believable for me to be like, okay, they're with Squad Zero, we know who Squad Zero is now, we've seen them in action, so we see why you guys are who you are, because the greatest Soul Reapers trained you guys. And then they just showed up, and the tide was turned when they got there, and I thought it was pretty cool. Like I was cool with that. I didn't need to see 20 episodes of them in the upper levels training with Squad Zero.
Yeah, sweating it out and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was a cool. Like that got me more excited than having to watch them go through that process.
Right on.
Yeah,
I like that I think everybody likes the Kenpachi's character.
Oh yeah.
It was cool to see him kind of show up again. I don't know. I would love to see because in that first part of this season, the 1,000-year blood war thing, he got like a lot of quote unquote a lot of screen time of him trying to get his stuff figured out. So when they showed him back in this season, they showed him very powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, I was hoping to see something more,
right?
Maybe
for them to kind of rely heavily on that in the first season.
He got a lot of time.
Yeah, and then like the very end, he learns the name of his sword, which he's never ever needed.
Right. It's always been raw power that he's been able to keep up with these extremely talented and trained.
Right. Yeah, and he has this rinky dink all rusted up. Like
his sword is beat
to hell.
It's beat to hell.
So it's literally just raw power, and he's never taken the time to learn the sword or care about anything outside of that. And now that he does, it's like, oh, the possibilities for Kenpachi are endless.
Exactly, yeah.
And then he shows up, does some powerful moves.
Right. Yeah,
he still gets hurt. Like,
he takes a beating and he takes it. But he ultimately delivers.
Yeah.
He's able to, to beat the guy in the end and everything. So
but it was kind of like a what else though? Like, of course that was gonna happen. Yeah. But like, that's all you're gonna show us in one clip of one episode of him doing really well.
Yeah, and he didn't really do anything other than just
be like he normally is.
Yeah, just go into beast mode kind of thing, right? Yeah. It would have been cool to show him. I mean, his sword did transform. He did have that big battle axe looking sword, or whatever. So that's cool, but. Again, I mean, it's almost like, like in Dragon Ball Z, like some of these later episodes, like Frieza has trained and he's powered up now, right? Oh. Like Frieza never trained and he was able to take on like a Super Saiyan, right? So he was like the baddest creature, zero training. So now he's trained and now he's all, powered up. So I was kind of hoping to see the same thing, with Kenpachi, because he has been like one of the most powerful characters in the game, and he is essentially like just a brute, just an untrained brute, so, but
probably see some more. Maybe we'll see some more because he never found his lieutenant. Like they didn't find her, right?
Yeah, she was, just found her outfit. I was starting to think like maybe that was his, because the Bankai is, I mean, he's never, know the name of his sword, so I guess he can never release the Bankai, or could he? I don't know if he could or not.
I think you had to know your sword to release the Bankai.
So I was wondering if that was like, a manifestation. But then again, that girl had a manifest. She could release.
Yeah, she had her own
thing too.
Yeah.
So.
And she was a lieutenant, so everybody knew her as a lieutenant. They knew her.
But I mean, he's so powerful. I was thinking maybe he manifested her some kind of way, and she's just running around almost like Scarlet Witch and her twins. Oh, that's what I was kind to thinking. Maybe. That's what this, little girl was,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like spitballing. I'm just like, wondering. I'm wondering where she was too.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say something happened with that, and I'm sure they're gonna resolve that later. I think that's like the only thing that's important to him is her. So
yeah.
So I'm sure he's gonna try to go on a journey for that.
Right.
But yeah. Anything else?
I can't think of too many others. I mean, like overall, it was there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Yeah, it was cool to see Squad Zero finally get into the fight.
Yeah.
And then I guess, they brought out some even more powerful Quincy's, like all of a sudden to kind of fight them. So they kind of got their, it kind of went back and forth. They kind of got their butts handed to them. And, and then they handed, butts to the other guys. And just
butts back and forth.
Butts. Yeah, right. Just booty. Everywhere.
But yeah, that was actually pretty cool with Squad Zero, where they're like, okay, you haven't even seen us at our best, and then they kill themselves to release the Bankai for the one person. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna kill yourself like, and maybe like right over that healing bath.
Yeah.
So at least you can drop in there and heal. I don't think I need to be alive to do it, but
yeah,
they took themselves out. So now there's only one member of Squad Zero, or two members of Squad Zero, the bearded guy and the Doc Ock.
Doc Ock,
that lady.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, though, but yeah, no, definitely pretty crazy. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I forgot his name, but the guy with the beard with the paintbrush.
Yeah,
he had a pretty cool.
Yeah, his
ability.
power was black.
Yeah, just black. Yeah.
Anything black.
Anything black.
Powers
I
me
have
up.
the power of it.
Like holy shit.
What do you mean though? But
Racist much.
Yeah. But yeah, he said a freaking paintbrush, and I was like, hey, the pen's always mightier than the sword. I guess,
Yeah,
right?
and he's kicking ass with it.
Yeah, but yeah. So otherwise, though, anything else?
I think that's about it. I mean, I'm waiting to see what's going to go on with I don't want to say Ishida.
Oh yeah, Udio Ishida.
Udio.
Yeah. Yeah, he turned quick. He turned immediately.
Right, and see, I'm waiting. I mean, I shouldn't say obviously, but I feel obviously like he's going to be a double agent.
Yeah.
But he's actually kind of fighting the other Squad Zero.
Squad Zero, yeah.
Unless he was holding back, they're all duds he was shooting or something. But I was waiting for. I'm assuming like once they get to the Soul King. Maybe he's playing the long game.
Yeah.
And once they get to the Soul King, or once Ichigo shows up, then he'll
team up and take out Ewok or whatever.
Yeah.
But because I mean, how much? I mean, he didn't really pull the trigger on anybody specifically.
Yeah.
In this whole society, but he was a part of the people that were murdering all of them.
Yeah, he was there with them.
How many people does he let die?
Right.
In? But maybe he's like, the only thing that matters is protecting the Soul King.
Yeah. So in all honesty, too, there's nothing he could do. I mean, he can either go in there and try to fight them and get killed.
Yeah.
Or he can be, behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
And he can, maybe, quote unquote, kind of assassinate, take out the leader. So it makes more sense for him to be just a very effective double agent. Just do whatever he has to do. That means attacking other Soul Reapers and doing whatever. And that's what you do. I don't think he's, not kill anybody. And I don't think he has.
Yeah, he hasn't yet. So that's going for him.
Right.
Yeah. So maybe, because I can't imagine that they're just gonna be like, oh, okay, now he's our sworn enemy. And that's it. We're fight to the death.
Because even they could sense his energy, and they're like, the other Soul Reapers are kind of disappointed, or not disappointed, I suppose, but they're shocked that they're feeling his energy with, the guy that's taking them out.
True. Oh, and they did say though, the blonde dude did say that since he's a successor, when Ewok dies, it's gonna go to his abilities are gonna go to him.
Interesting.
So
okay.
I wonder if Ewok was like, oh, that's cool. If I die, my successor will get my abilities, and he'll finish the job. I don't know. That's gonna happen too. I don't know if he did die in this or not, but I don't think he did. But
right, I would agree. So, yeah. Any other positives? That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Negatives. What have you got?
This one seemed a little slower to me, like this run of episodes, because the first like arc, part 1. I was jazzed about it. I was really into it because of the animation style, the action sequences, all the crazy shit that happens in it. It's real a lot of shock value. Yeah. A lot of changes, a lot of like basically upping everything in Bleach. And I was like, it was great. The ride was awesome. For the second one, I felt a little slow to me. It felt a little bit slow to me, like because then like the Quincy's just came back basically. Yeah. And then they're raiding again. It's like, okay, well, they're fighting him again. Okay, now they have more abilities. They're killing more Soul Reapers. So it was kind of slow in that beginning, pretty much up until Ichigo gets back. Right. It was a little slow to me. Like, it didn't really seem like they're upping the stakes from that point. Yeah. So I felt like it was a little bit slow. So for that reason, and I was watching it episode every week, every time it came out.
Okay, right on.
So I was actually keeping up. Well, maybe the first 4 episodes, and I watched it weekly after that. And I was just kind of like, a couple times I wasn't super excited for the next episode. Like there wasn't like a cliffhanger where I was like, oh shit, what's gonna happen next? Right. There wasn't really a lot of those kind of episodes where I was just like, oh shit, you know, like I was in the last one in the first run. So yeah, so it's a little bit slow for me. Okay, a little bit slow.
I feel like there was. Thinking back on all the episodes, I feel like there was. I mean, this whole thing felt like it was essentially like fighting all the way through. There wasn't a lot of downtime. In there, it was fighting all the way through. If that's how you felt, that's how you felt. I think for me, and again, I have never been a big fan of Bleach.
Right.
You know, not that I think it's bad, but it was just...
It didn't click for you, right?
It didn't click. Yeah, that's the thing. And everyone's thinking like, but Mark, you're rocking that cool, sweet jersey.
Yeah, slide that jersey over to me.
Yeah, right. This is a cool, sweet jersey. Awesome, now, you don't want me to have this. You want me,
Do I?
Do I? Do I? Do I? But, and gracias. Or arigato.
Classy, man.
We're drinking the cloudy sake, everybody.
Yeah, just straight
Interesting. Cloudy sake. I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, me too. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad.
Do they? Do they heat this up too, like they do with normal sake?
This one they say is better chilled or on ice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they said this one specifically.
I believe it. I believe it.
It's a little milky, so I think
Yeah.
hot might be a little.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'll curdle or something.
Yeah, kind of throw it off.
Yeah, but yeah.
No complaints.
So anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, not a huge fan of it. I feel like all the episodes there was a decent amount of action in them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but yeah, like I said though, that's, if it didn't click the same way the first season did.
Yeah,
it's
all good. It kind of just felt like it was just the same, like, okay, we're just gonna keep destroying the Soul Reapers. We're gonna keep murdering them, and then, and it kind of felt like the same as the first part.
Sure,
there wasn't a lot of development because they came there, they raided it, and then they left.
Yeah,
and then now they just came back. Let's raid it again, but this time we're going to the castle.
Yeah, we're gonna.
So those first couple episodes, getting into that was a little slow to me. It's just the same with them just massacring Soul Reapers.
Yeah,
and then it changes when Ichigo shows up and stuff. Yeah, so.
And I think that is kind of, well, it's not my issue with Bleach, but it's something I've noticed with Bleach, or I feel like I've noticed with Bleach, is a lot of these, what was going on in the first these two parts has happened throughout all of the series. It's the whole series is typically, from what I've seen, has been some bad guy shows up, they beat down the Soul Reapers. The Soul Reapers kind of, take a step back and lick their wounds, and then they come back, and now they're more powerful than the bad guys. They beat the bad guys, and then they, you move on to the next arc. And the next arc is the bad guy comes up, they beat the hell out of the Soul Reapers. The Soul Reapers go back, lick their wounds, get their shit together. They come back, and now they're more powerful than the other guys. Yeah. There's just this crazy teeter-totter effect going on with the show, and I feel like I've seen that. And again, I haven't seen every single episode. And I mean, I've seen episodes from every arc, I feel like, of Bleach. And I feel like that's always how they go. So for me, for that reason, it felt a little boring that it was that's the same thing that was happening again. There's someone's coming in, they're going to beat the hell out of the Soul Reapers. And I feel like at some point, the Soul Reapers are going to come back and beat the hell out of them. I mean, there's not a lot of them left. I mean, I think most of the captains and lieutenants, who are the main characters, most of them are still around, being healed somewhere. Like you said, some of them were turned into zombies, but I think that might be a temporary thing. And then, then you kind of see it when it gets to when they go to fight Squad Zero, and Squad Zero is like, these powerful guys. And then all of a sudden, like, I feel like they do this again. They kind of do it all the time. They pull out some powerful thing out of nowhere. These other Quincy's show up. Like, why weren't you Quincy's fighting before? Why were you, now you're showing up to, to fight these guys or whatever, to fight Squad Zero. Yeah. They have their teeter-totter.
So it's just it's a whole series of one-upping.
Yeah, it is. It is. And then it's kind of like out of nowhere one-upping too. Like all of a sudden these guys just come out of nowhere and, where were you before? And again, it goes even right back to Squad Zero. Like, where was Squad Zero all this time? At least... And see, what gets me personally is if they don't mention Squad Zero, like at all, from season 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure how many seasons there are in like the original Bleach, but if you never mention Squad Zero, then to me it feels like Squad Zero is something that you guys kind of made up, later on. You know what I mean? And that's okay, I suppose. In all honesty, I shouldn't complain about that if that's what they end up doing. But it feels kind of like a last minute thing to me. Like, oh, what are we going to do? Oh, let's make up a Squad Zero, and we'll throw them in there. If they had mentioned a Squad Zero anywhere throughout the original series, then I would be like, oh, that's something that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That they're there. They don't have any, and again, they're removed, and that's kind of the justification. They're removed from the other 13 squads. And if that's how they operate, that's fine. But again, mention it and then be like, we're never going to see Squad Zero because we don't deal with Squad Zero, or Squad Zero doesn't deal with us. So
that's a good point.
That kind of, it bugged me a little bit.
It's going to be the same as like when, and assuming it's not going to be a multiverse thing, I think it is going to be a multiverse thing, but like if the X-Men would have showed up at in phase 5 or whatever, but
like out of nowhere kind of thing?
But they were around this whole time, but they weren't fighting Thanos.
Like, really, guys?
Where you guys been this whole time?
Yeah.
And they had some kind of wacky explanation.
Yeah.
They'd be like that.
Yeah.
It'd be a similar
well,
thing.
that's kind of what they did in Eternals, right? Like, why didn't you guys help?
You guys are celestial,
You were there the whole time.
People.
You were there on Earth the whole time.
And you guys didn't step in for any of this stuff.
Yeah.
This isn't a big enough threat for us.
Huh?
Yeah, that's not
the entire universe.
Yeah,
the entire universe.
Yeah.
So exactly. It's very much like that, and it's again, it's not it's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't want to say it feels a little bit lazy, or it feels like they didn't have any clear direction.
Yeah,
But I mean, and the thing is, so like when you do this kind of thing, I think they're smart enough to be able to make it work. So it's not far-fetched, you know what I mean? It's not completely unbelievable that there would be a Squad Zero.
Yeah.
That the guys that invented, the Bankai and, the Zanpakuto and the, all the other crazy words, that they're there. They are somewhere. It's not that hard to believe, but I feel like it's one of those things that they kind of, at the last minute, as the series is starting to wind down, they were like, "Oh, hey, I got an idea. Let's try this."
Oh yeah.
So that it kind of irks me a little bit.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think it works for what the explanation of it.
Yeah. I think there's a way.
Works,
you can. I think you can spin it and make
but
it work.
I think what it seems like to me, and this is probably what it is with like a lot of long running series, is that I imagine they don't have the plan for the entire series like planned out.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think that's why some shows, even like sitcoms, will contradict things that happen in different episodes.
Sure.
Because they're just so long.
Yeah.
And somebody wasn't keeping a show Bible together, where they're holding, where they're keeping all the notes together about what goes on in each episode. So maybe that's the issue. Because that brings me back to like when Rukia, in like one of the first arcs, like she's talking to one of the little souls that they saved from a hollow.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to send you to the bird. He's like, I'm going to send you to the Soul Society. And he's like, is it scary there? And he's like, no, it's peaceful. It's the afterlife. It's heaven. You get to go there and everything's fine. And then later on, when they get into the Soul Society stuff, like there's some people that are poor, some people that can't eat. And
I kind of saw that too. And I was like, am I missing something?
Yeah. I was like, why do you have to eat? You're in the Soul Society.
Yeah.
Why do you have to scrounge for food as a poor person? Why are you poor here? This is the afterlife. And then I still even think, how do you guys die?
Yeah.
How do you guys die? And there's like, I was thinking about that when they were fighting the guy with the Zanpakuto guy. He's like, I'm going to increase the blood in your organs. And he's like, why do you have organs and like blood and stuff? You're dead. You already died.
Yeah.
You already died. Where do you go now when you die?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, is there like an afterlife?
Is that the deal with Soul Reapers? Like, I feel like I remember seeing again, Renji, for example. I think he was, some of his original story was he was like a poor kid from the streets kind of thing. Now, were those from the streets of Japan, like medieval Japan, and he got turned into a Soul Reaper, or that was in Soul Reaper world?
He was the streets of the Soul Reaper world. Yeah. Which so how does that happen?
Yeah.
In the afterlife.
I mean, unless they have said at some point that all those people are they're people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They are living, breathing. People are born.
Yeah.
They're just normal people, but they live in this alternate world, reality, dimension, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and I guess there's no rules about what you are after you die. Like nobody knows really,
Right.
And I guess you can create it however you want. Like when you die, you go to this world, but you're still kind of the same, but not.
I mean, but people in that world, because I've seen some of those episodes. The people in that world, I didn't get the impression that they were, part of the human world and they died and they came here, or their spirits came there.
Because they meet that kid that they sent, the kid that was the bird.
Right.
They meet the kid's there. Like they meet him again in a later episode.
Okay.
So
okay.
like he had gotten
and what's he doing with his life? What was
he's like just a regular kid in the Soul Society. So
okay. Was he studying to be a Reaper?
No, I think he was just there. He was in when they go to raid the Soul Society to save Rukia. They run into him and he's there. The kid's there. He's like, "Oh, you don't remember me?" And then he's like, "No." And he's like, "I was the bird."
See, I'm curious. Like, was he in a school? Was he working at a restaurant?
No, he just lived in.
He was just in a house somewhere.
He was just there. Yeah, he was just there in Soul Society.
Yeah, see,
as a kid. So like
that doesn't make
I don't really
sense.
understand like what the rules are. Like you die, and so now your spirit goes here.
Right. Was Rukia born in that world? I mean, were all those guys born? Like they had a mother and a father and.
Yeah, because they were kids at one point.
Right.
They were kids in the Soul Society as friends, and they grew up in the Soul Society as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they were before.
Right.
So I don't really talk. So I always just kind of wonder about like what's the difference between the real world and the afterlife. If the rules are the same, you still have to eat, you still have to survive, you have to try to make money, not be poor.
I mean, because clearly they eat. I mean, they love eating.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in the first part of the 1,000 Year Blood, where you see them like eating like crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, it was like magic food, but
and Ichigo's human still, I guess technically. But
right, yeah.
But I mean,
that was the thing. Yeah, that's actually a good point because Ichigo didn't he have to leave his body behind, and then Kon took over his took over his body. Yeah,
because he couldn't access his powers as a human, so he had to So maybe that's how, I don't know. Maybe you get to die to get power. I don't know. Get powers. I don't know. So that's one of those. So it's like one of those things. Like the show is just so long running,
right?
That like it contradicts itself. I think sometimes.
I mean that's major though.
Yeah,
that's
true.
major. I mean, the whole world, the whole society that you're talking about, it doesn't make sense. Like the whole thing. And I'm assuming maybe they've talked about. I said, I have not read all the manga. I read some of the manga in the beginning.
Yeah,
I have not watched that much of the anime. Maybe they explain it. If somebody knows.
Unless I missed it because I watched it all like within a week. Remember?
I remember you saying that. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That was still a discrepancy to me. I didn't get how there are poor people in the afterlife. Like, it didn't make sense to me. So and then people had to stay like Rukia had to scrounge. Rukia and Renji had to scrounge for food because they were poor. And I was like, you guys are dead already. Like how?
Yeah. Like what? Yeah. What's going on?
I don't understand. I don't understand what this is.
Yeah.
So I really don't understand the afterlife in this world. It doesn't, unless obviously, again, you create your own rules in your story.
Right.
And the afterlife could be.
Well, yeah. Even
different.
you got to play by your own rules.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, whatever his rules are, I'm sure maybe he set up a certain set of rules that he never explained to anybody. But that explains why you can still die when you're already dead. You know what I mean? But I don't know what it is. I don't know what the rules are. And so then that happens a lot. Like. There's like sometimes episodes in The Office or How I Met Your Mother that completely contradict old episodes. That they just kind of forget. Like something happened in season 2 that they changed in season 8 about a character. You know what I mean? And that happens because the show's run for so long.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's like a whole point of the show. I mean, is one thing if in the beginning of the season Rukia doesn't like donuts. But then in season 4 you see her eating donuts with everybody. I'm not gonna trip about something like that.
Yeah,
I don't care. But I mean, like the whole like in How I Met Your Mother, if they were running through New York and the whole show's through New York, and then all of a sudden they're in like California and Los Angeles and they're doing the show from there and they don't explain it, it's like you need to explain what happened. Why are they all of a sudden living in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a major thing. Or all of a sudden. Marshall is gay. He never liked women, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta
explain it. Yeah.
That's
I think
a major
the
thing.
issue though is that they never really explain. It's never explained. Like the afterlife isn't explained.
Right.
I think is what the case is.
Yeah, and I guess it's one of those things you just kind of if you're enjoying it, you just shut up and enjoy it.
Because like in the first episode when Rukia gets bit by the hollow and has to transfer her powers to Ichigo.
Right.
Like she's a spirit.
Yeah.
But she's dying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean that.
And I mean I don't have a problem necessarily with a spirit like quote unquote being destroyed kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's not because it's not the American sense of heaven. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with that's something that can destroy these spirits. Especially these the fighting spirits, the Reapers. I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue with that. But yeah, the way that whole world works, it needs somebody to clear that up. But
yeah. I mean, I always just kind of took it that it was like the world. Oops. Once the world gets a certain way, the people in power corrupt it. You know what I mean? That's typically the case, I feel like, with most societies.
Okay, I hear you.
So maybe that's what it is. That none of these people are God.
So that means they've got money. They're running around with money or whatever in the afterlife, doing that shit too.
I mean, because they can still die. They still have organs. They can still bleed and get hurt. So maybe they do still have to eat. I don't know. Yeah. So maybe they still have to do things that are typical of humans.
Yeah. You die and you go to another place where you're human all over again.
Yeah. Exactly. So
sorry about that, man. I didn't take all the.
No, you're good.
All the juice.
But anyway, that was my last negative. I always kind of just still see that. I don't understand the afterlife. And I'd like that to be explained a little bit more. Yeah. Any other negatives you had?
Just kind of nitpicky stuff. When Kenpachi was fighting that imagination guy that can imagine whatever he wanted. Yeah. Which was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was a very interesting power.
Very interesting power. Mm-hmm. Like how is he just not the end all be all?
God, yeah.
Right. The fact that he never used his power directly against Kenpachi kind of maybe you can justify like he wanted to fight, but if you wanted to fight, use your powers and beat him. Yeah. Because he turned his lieutenant like literally, or so he said, he turned his her bones into cookies. Which I loved when Kenpachi said, "What's a cookie?"
Yeah.
That I laughed at that. Yeah. Like, this guy's so hardcore. Doesn't even know what the hell a cookie is. Yeah. That's a badass right there.
That's a real badass.
That's a real badass.
Yeah.
Cookies, I don't touch that shit. But he never used his power against him. He did all this stuff around him, like put him into space. And again, Kenpachi's powered up and he's having all this shit done to him and he's coming out of it and he's still swinging.
Yeah.
But the fact that he never, did that to the girl or whatever, and then the way that guy dies is, your imagination ran away with you or too much than you can imagine. And I'm like, what?
You thought too much or something?
Right? It's like, no, if you think, I mean, because it seemed like they kind of tried to spin it almost like, and again, I'm going back to Naruto if nobody minds, that when Rock Lee and Sasuke first fight, right? Like Sasuke uses the Sharingan, he can track Rock Lee, but his body is not able to keep up with what needs to get done, what his eyes are showing him needs to take place, right? So it's kind of like that same concept, like this brain guy, for whatever reason, he couldn't imagine himself being strong enough. Like, just make yourself stronger. Like, there never should have been a case where, unless his power had limits, which it sounded like it didn't from what he was doing, it made it seem like his power, like his imagination power, hit a limit. And imagination does not work like that.
It must have been that he maybe just didn't know how strong Kenpachi was.
I agree. I agree with that,
because he probably just can't be like, oh, imagine I'm stronger than you.
Yeah,
but how strong is he?
Exactly, and that would have made more sense. Like he imagines like, oh, I'm as strong as you are now, and then Kenpachi's still stronger than him. It's like, okay, well now I'm and he keeps saying I'm stronger than you. Then Kenpachi still keeps overpowering him, and then that would make sense that he would hit a wall or a limit of some sort. Yeah, or maybe. When he thinks I'm going to power up to, I'm just throwing out a number, right? I'm going to power up to, I think Kenpachi's like a level, 10. I'm going to power up to 20. And then Kenpachi, cuts him in half. Like, idiot, I'm a 50.
Yeah.
I'm just making up numbers.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying. Though.
Yeah, but so that would have made more sense. But I mean, if you've got the power of imagination and you can't, and you die, just imagine yourself living. Imagine yourself healing. Like, that was... they made up this kind of great power, and that's another good thing actually. There are a lot of cool, like made up powers that they were just spitballing out there. Yeah. Like people were coming out of nowhere saying, "Well, I can do this and I can do that, and this allows me to do this," and it was all cool stuff. But that particular fight, I think they thought of something, they imagined something, and they didn't think it all the way through, and they're like, okay, well, he's got to lose, so let's kill him this way, kind of thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And again, it a little bit came off as lazy to me, and typically, like, especially in anime, it's not lazy. It's typically it's very clever. Like if I ever want to watch like some sort of clever thing with somebody using their powers in a smart and clever way, anime is going to do that 99.9% of the time, you know? So yeah, it was a little disappointing. That was a little disappointing to me too. So that was another kind of hang up.
All right.
Do you have any more?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think overall, I had a good time with it.
Did you?
I've been really enjoying anime.
Definitely.
I mean, well, really enjoying the idea of getting back into anime.
Yeah.
I still am not like fully like just I love anime like I did when I was in my junior high, you know.
Right.
But I'm excited about the prospect of enjoying all these different animes.
Yeah, finding the time to get back into it's the hard part for me, I think, you know. But
yeah,
I definitely
so much of it, but but it is interesting to see what modern anime is like versus how it was when I was watching it a lot.
Right, yeah. And there's a lot I want to see. There's been a lot that I want to watch. So now this is like a good time, a good opportunity.
Yeah, we have a lot on the docket to cover some more anime too.
We do.
But yeah, overall, I was okay with it.
That's cool. So you for the most part you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm always been a Bleach fan.
Yeah, like exactly. I know.
Bleach came out during the time when I was like into anime, like really, really into anime, and it was just one of those ones that's just like, oh shit, another one, cool, another great one.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just one of those things I remember loving a lot.
Yeah.
At the time,
and there wasn't a lot of it. I mean, especially back in the day, and again, this is a whole other subject, but the further you go back, the less options you had for anime. So when you did get it like on Adult Swim or whatever the case may be, you were all about it.
Yeah,
you watched like every single thing.
Yeah, I think what helped was that I discovered Book Off in Costa Mesa, the bookstore. Yeah, and they had so much manga and anime, like a ton, like whatever was out, they would have it there at some point. And more, and like they wouldn't have it at Best Buy like they do now, or they wouldn't have it at like Barnes & Noble has a manga section. There wasn't really a lot. There wasn't as much. Yeah, there was some, but the harder to find stuff, well, you can always find a Book Off, which was cool. Yeah. So I discovered that like when I was in my teens, my early teens, like like 11, 13, 12, 13, that kind of era.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. Always got to throw one in there. I'd buy like bulk stuff when I was there. And that's when I was really into it then, because I'd find a new manga or a new anime that they had there. Right. And I just watched that, and I was just consuming everything. Yeah. And this was one of those that came out during that time. And it just I remember it like very fondly. Yeah. From who I was and where I was at the time. This show came out at the right time for me.
Yeah. And I won't take that away from anyone. Clearly, Bleach has always been very popular. It's still very popular. And Rotten Tomatoes has got like a 91% score. Okay. You know, for the second season.
Okay, yeah.
So it's and the first one had an 89%. So it's clearly very popular. It's still, and I get it, you know, and I think that's the thing too with this particular season or this particular run, the 1,000-Year Blood War. It's great for the fans that wanted to see the series ended the right way, that want to see more of it. It's perfect for that reason. Yeah, like someone that is not up to date on Bleach. Watching Bleach, and again, I know enough that I can track most of what's going on, but for the most part, I wasn't that interested. Only because, like I said, it kept kind of doing, you know, it's got that same thing that, you know, I win, you win, kind of thing that I feel like I see all the time with Bleach. But yeah, I think for the fans, it's more of it's that send off that the fans have been looking for. I don't know if somebody brand new to anime or someone even that's not brand new. Let's say you're brand new to Bleach. I mean this is not where you want to jump on board.
Yeah, you wouldn't get
all.
any of it. Yeah,
right.
I think you wouldn't get any of it. Yeah, for sure.
Again, great if you just want to watch some great action and some, you know, and see that's another thing too. Like the characters aren't all that. Like the original cast, or I shouldn't say the original cast, like the cast that we like, the squad, you know, the 13 squads. Over the years, you know them, you see them, you like them, appreciate them, all that kind of stuff. All the new characters that pop up, and it's been that way for a few years. To me, they're all just these eccentric characters. They're all these extremely weird, extremely quirky type of characters. I don't really see anything that different with them, so that's another hang up for me. But
let's see.
I think though, if you're a Bleach fan, this is probably something you've been waiting for. So
and I think
you'll enjoy it, and it's a great end. I mean, if you've been watching Bleach for years and all of a sudden this is what you're watching with the quality of anime and a lot of stories being answered. And that's one thing I do like too. I should say another positive. I like that we're seeing some stuff getting resolved.
Yeah.
I like that whole, that 900 years, he awakened 90 years. He, his mind, you know what I mean? And then 90. And then that whole narrative, that whole little story, that whatever, that little passage. It sounds like it's a very creepy, haunting thing. It feels like, it comes off as very cool. That whole 9 thing, that 9 countdown, and then talking about 9 days, whatever. So that's a cool thing too. But yeah, I don't know, man. Overall,
still not your thing. Man.
Still not my bag, man. Like I said, this maybe is not the thing you want to jump into if you're just getting into Bleach. Definitely.
Yeah. True that.
Yeah.
So what would you rate it then? Season 2.
Season 2, on a number rating, I might give it somewhere between a 70. I'll say a 72, 73, maybe. And that's me being pretty generous. And again, take that with a grain of salt.
Man, you gave
I know. The last one?
Yeah, last one.
Tencent?
Yeah, Tencent an 85 or something.
Yeah, that one, I definitely like that one more.
Huh, really?
I definitely like that more than Bleach.
Man.
I definitely like that more than Bleach.
Never
We're never on the same page.
You're on the same page.
I definitely liked it more than Bleach. As far as, drop what you're doing kind of thing, if you are a Bleach fan, I would 100% say drop what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you are a Bleach fan and you feel like you know what's going on with Bleach enough, especially if you've been watching it all along, then you should have already been watching this.
Yeah.
If you're a Bleach fan, drop what you're doing and watch this, because I don't think you'll be too disappointed. We're seeing the answers as far as what's going on with the Quincy's, just in general. You're seeing like who created all these crazy things in the first place.
Yeah. Learn about Ichigo's mom.
Yeah. And that, I know, right? One of those open-ended mysteries that's all being resolved, and which is great.
Yeah.
So for the fans, it's fantastic. If you are not, I would, again, because we're coming in towards the end of it, so it's hard to give it a really accurate assessment.
Yeah.
If you are new to Bleach, don't start here.
Yeah.
Don't start here. You're better off watching it somewhere from the beginning, keeping in mind this show came out a long time ago.
Yeah. At the very least, watch a recap. There's a great. I'll put the link in the show notes. There's a great recap of all their first 4 arcs.
Okay.
It'll give you all the information that you need to watch 1,000 Year Blood War.
Yeah.
And it's like 20 minutes long or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that you do that if you don't want to watch all the other episodes.
Right.
But definitely don't start.
Yeah, not a good. Yeah. It's not a good idea to start here yet, because you won't know what's going on and why all the characters are doing what they're doing and why they're doing it. So I wouldn't say, just for the artwork alone, I wouldn't say avoid it or skip it altogether kind of thing. But it's more like a meh if you got the time kind of thing. Especially if you just want to check out some anime, you just want to watch some anime. If you just want to see something that looks cool, then it's good for checking out for that reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Where you at?
I don't even remember what I rated the first one. I think I rated it pretty high because I really
I think you did. I think you did.
Part. This one, I don't think I was as excited about it. It was for the first part, but as a Bleach fan, it is great to get this resolution with this quality.
Yeah,
those two things together.
That's perfect.
Is great. It's a great thing that I think a lot of people don't get. You don't get that.
You don't. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm never gonna get Zack Snyder's end to his run of DC movies ever.
Yeah.
That's gonna be unresolved forever.
Yeah. I'm never gonna get what Firefly the series should have been. We got Serenity the movie, but not what the series should have been. So exactly. I hear you. I hear you.
So that'll never happen. Really. Right. But so this is great that we were getting that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm quite at drop what you're doing right now, but for sure, in between that and stream it. It's good, it's really good, and if you're a Bleach fan, you'll enjoy it. And I'm enjoying it as well. But again, for some reason, I wasn't really I can't wait for the next episode next week. For whatever reason, maybe a lot was going on. I was watching a lot of other shit too. So
yeah.
So we have a pretty big docket here of stuff we're covering. But yeah, overall, I'll probably give it a maybe. I'm in the 80s, 80, 83, maybe 84, something like that. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. Like a good solid anime.
Yeah,
good solid show, and I'm glad it's getting resolved.
Right on.
But yeah, otherwise, that's a talk on Bleach.
That's Bleach,
we covered it. Yeah, we'll be back to talk about the next one when it comes out, whenever that comes out.
Yeah, sometime next year.
Yeah.
So, and next year's not too far away. So
exactly. So anyway, what are we
into? I started to watch, and I barely watched any of it, but The Boys, they have a new series from The Boys, Gen V.
Gen V, okay, yeah.
I started to watch I watched a little bit of it. And I was kind of falling asleep on it. It was a little late at night. So I'm looking forward to checking that out, watching that. I think that's about it, though. I really haven't had too much time to watch a whole lot of stuff, unfortunately. But I'm definitely looking forward to watching Gen V. I did start watching Castlevania. They got the new series of Castlevania out, yes. Yeah. On Netflix.
Yeah, we're going to be covering that in like 2 weeks. So
okay, right on.
Yeah, keep that in mind, guys.
Right. And I think with that, again, it's one of those things I tried watching it and I just conked out on it. So
okay. I'm watching the first I think I'm on the second season of it right now.
Okay.
It's pretty great.
Cool. Yeah, the animation is great. The story is great. I think it's been a pretty good story all the way through. And I'm looking forward with this one just because of the timeline it takes place in. I wouldn't call myself a history buff, unfortunately, but I do love history. And this new one takes place around the French Revolution.
Oh, okay.
Which that is, take this with don't think I'm weird, but that's like one of my favorite periods in history. They went nuts.
A lot of people getting their heads chopped off.
Oh my God, right? they man. And it's interesting. Again, okay, give me a minute. When America had its revolution. Like overall, we were pretty civilized with it. Like we had our revolution, there was fighting, all this kind of stuff, and then it was like, okay, here are our rules. We're gonna start moving forward. We did it.
Got our independence, yeah.
France did it, and they're like, kill everybody. Everybody that's rich, kill them. Everybody you think is rich, kill them. Anybody that seems like they support the rich, kill them. All right, we did it. Let's get back to work. Wait a minute, let's do it all over again. And they had a second wave of kill them. And it got to a point where you just could get accused of something and they were killing you out there. It was weird because, again, with here, we did it. And we like, okay, we were, civilized, so to speak. And we're like, okay, let's move forward. And they tore each other apart. It was like Lord of the Flies with them. It was fantastic. France, God bless you. Vive la France. That's the point of the show, everybody. Good night.
Yeah, it's interesting why you like it so much. But
it is a very weird time.
Don't want to get into the psychology of that, but cool. But yeah, we're going to talk about that in a couple weeks here.
The French Revolution?
Yeah. No, Nocturne.
Oh, okay.
Castlevania.
Nocturne. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Specify.
Yeah. I'm into two things this week. Oh, other than Castlevania, which is pretty great. I checked out this show called Norseman. It's on Netflix.
The movie?
No, it's a show. It's a Norwegian show. It's a comedy about Vikings, like in the Viking times.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It's my kind of humor. It's real dry. Kind of feels more like the British Office or that kind of style of comedy.
Okay. On Netflix?
It's on Netflix. Yeah. Okay. It's about these Vikings like in Norway.
Yeah.
And they're kind of being Vikings, and it's really funny, really dry, really funny.
That's cool.
Really sarcastic, but they're still Vikings, so they're like violent, and they're like so the show is pretty violent, but it's so goofy, it's so funny.
Yeah.
So I like it. I'm on like 3 episodes into the first season. It's 3 seasons. It's only 6 episodes long each episode or each season. 6 episodes long. So a total of what is that 18?
Yeah, their seasons. Yeah, their seasons typically. Yeah, they typically are short, and then they're most of their series. Some of they only last a couple seasons.
Yeah.
And like perfect, we did it.
Yeah, we did.
They aren't trying to do like 10
seasons.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just funny. It's really funny. I like it a lot. They make a lot of jokes about Viking lore and things that went on in the Viking times, but like with like a modern, like they all speak English, and it's like
right. Of course.
It's really funny. It's so cool. Funny. And then I also started listening to this podcast called No Dogs in Space. It's It's from the Last Podcast Network, so the same guys do Last Podcast on the left.
Yeah.
It's one of their podcasts, and one of the hosts of Last Podcast does this one. It's about music. I think it's him and his wife that do it. And it's like the history of music, basically, all these different music. So they did a whole series on punk music, and then I'm listening to one about the Beastie Boys specifically.
Nice,
and
nice,
it's
nice.
so interesting, man.
Nice.
It's so good. And they talk about how, like, the history of hip hop and what their role was in that, and how they were inspired by it, but also they started a lot of things about hip hop too as well. And it's really fascinating to learn about the history of hip hop, Beastie Boys, and their history with punk and hardcore, because they were a punk band.
That's how they started, right?
They were a punk hardcore band, and it was this really, and they have some like recordings of them. And the cool thing about the podcast is they'll be talking about a certain group or something, and then they came out with this song, and they'll play like a little 10 or 20 seconds of that song, and then right back into more. It's really cool. It's a really cool podcast. Really interesting about the history of like music stuff. So
that's cool.
So check it out. No Dogs in Space is what it's called.
It's a good title for talking about music.
Yeah, exactly. So, but otherwise, I think that's it though.
That's it, man. Yeah. That's it.
So we did it.
We did it.
Done?
We did it. We did it.
We
again.
did it, and
God
we're
bless
done.
us. Right.
Yeah.
Do we know what we're talking about next week? Are we talking about?
Next week we're talking about Ahsoka.
Yes. Yes, I am not up to date on Ahsoka. I think I'm like 2 episodes behind.
Okay, I just finished the last episode yesterday.
Oh, nice.
I think the final episode comes out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And then that'll be what we're talking about next week. So if you guys want to be a part of that,
right?
Make sure you guys finish Ahsoka. Yeah, because it's gonna be a spoiler-filled episode, and there's gonna be a lot to unpack.
We're gonna ruin everything.
Yeah, because there's a lot about this show we gotta talk about. I think as Star Wars fans.
Yeah, big time.
And there's gonna be a lot to talk about. So that's next week. If you guys want to join in with that.
Yeah, if you like Ahsoka, and I know you do.
Yeah, and that's gonna be that.
Right.
So did we do it?
We did it, man.
We did it. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we love that. We love doing this. We love that you guys consume our content. It's a big deal. We really appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. From the bottom of our hearts.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I don't care about anybody, so for me to say that.
Right, that means a lot.
Means a lot.
Because he really does it.
Yeah. But anyway, as always, my name is Trent.
And my name is Mark.
And this has been
Geek Off The Street.
And cut.
Yeah, we should act like we're like, I don't know. They had this thing like back when the news was on regular TV, and like you would see like when they're rolling the credits, the reporters would be like, talking to each other.
Yeah. You know what they're saying? Yeah.
You can't hear them. The sound's off. But they're clearly having some deep conversation.
Remember Anchorman?
Yeah, and he's like, you are.
You are.